All right, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. If you're like me, you probably love a good-looking lawn, but maybe you don't always love the sweat and hours it takes to keep it that way. That's where the magic of robotic lawn mowers comes in, promising to give us back our weekends. But with so many options flooding the market, how do you even begin to choose? It's a tech minefield out there with features, specs, and price tags that can make your head spin. Fear not, because today we're diving deep into this grassy battlefield. A welcome to our guide on the top 3 robotic lawn mowers for every budget and lawn size. We've got some serious contenders lined up, from the premium feature-packed models to the more budget-conscious workhorses. Whether you have a sprawling estate that feels like it needs its own groundskeeper, a decently sized suburban yard, or a neat little patch of green, we've got you covered with the best options available. Our goal today is to cut through the marketing jargon and give you the real-world lowdown. We'll be putting 3 distinct mowers through their paces: the high-tech EcoFlow BLADE, the AI-powered Segway Navimow Y110N, and a solid, budget-friendly option that relies on the classic boundary wire system. We're going to look at everything: setup, performance, smart features, and of course the all-important price tag, to help you figure out which of these automated grass gobblers is the right fit for your lawn and your wallet. So grab a drink, settle in, and let's get mowing. Or rather, let's talk about robots that do the mowing for us. First up, let's talk about the EcoFlow BLADE. Now, this machine makes a statement right out of the box. It looks futuristic, it feels robust, and it comes with a price tag that definitely puts it in the premium category. The biggest headline feature here, and something that gets a lot of people excited, is its completely wire-free operation. That's right, no more spending hours meticulously burying a boundary wire around your entire yard. Instead, the BLADE uses a combination of GPS and other sensors, including LiDAR, to navigate. This is a huge step forward in terms of convenience, especially if you have a complex lawn layout or just dread the thought of digging. The navigation system on the BLADE is pretty sophisticated. It uses what EcoFlow calls X-Vision technology, which combines LiDAR, RTK GPS, and an internal camera for precise positioning down to the centimeter, apparently. This allows it to create a virtual map of your lawn and theoretically navigate with impressive accuracy. Smart obstacle avoidance is also a key part of this package. It's designed to intelligently detect and maneuver around things like garden gnomes, forgotten toys, or even pets. In our testing, it did a decent job, though smaller, less obvious items sometimes gave it a pause or required a gentle nudge. It's not infallible, but it's a world away from just bumping into things randomly. When it comes to coverage, the BLADE is rated for some pretty large areas. We're talking up to 3,000 square meters, which is roughly 3/4 of an acre. That's substantial. The app integration is also slick, as you'd expect at this price. You can control everything from your phone, set up virtual boundaries, schedule mowing times, adjust cutting height, and even track the mower in real time. The app is generally intuitive and offers a good level of customization, letting you define no-go zones or specific mowing patterns, which is a fantastic touch for those who like to fine-tune their tech. However, it's not all sunshine and perfectly cut grass. That high price point is a significant hurdle for many. You're definitely paying a premium for the cutting-edge tech and wire-free convenience. We also experience some occasional startup hiccups. Sometimes it would take a bit longer to acquire a solid GPS signal, or it might seem a little hesitant to leave its charging station. These weren't constant issues, but they were noticeable enough to mention. It's the kind of thing that can be frustrating when you've invested so much in a device designed for autonomous operation. Finally, let's touch on its performance with wet grass. While generally capable, like many robotic mowers, it performs best on dry or slightly damp lawns. Heavier wet grass can sometimes lead to clumping or cause the wheels to struggle for traction, especially on inclines. EcoFlow has been pushing firmware updates, which is a good sign, and some of these minor quirks might get ironed out over time. Overall, the EcoFlow BLADE is a powerful, feature-rich mower for those with larger lawns and a budget to match, who highly value that wire-free experience and advanced obstacle avoidance. Next in the ring is the Segway Navimow Y110N. Segway, a name you might associate with personal transporters, has made a pretty interesting entry into the robotic mower market. The Navimow, like the EcoFlow, also boasts wire-free operation, which is quickly becoming the gold standard for higher-end models. It relies on its own GPS-based system called EFS, Exact Fusion Locating System, and an AI-assisted mapping process. The promise here is a simpler setup and intelligent navigation without needing to bury that pesky perimeter wire, which, let's be honest, is a huge selling point for many of us. The AI-assisted mapping is quite intriguing. During the initial setup, you essentially guide the mower around the perimeter of your lawn using the app, and it learns the boundaries. The AI component is supposed to help it optimize mowing paths and deal with signal dropouts more effectively. It's a slightly different approach to what EcoFlow offers, but the end goal is the same accurate wire-free mowing. In practice, the mapping process is relatively straightforward, though it does require a clear view of the sky for good satellite reception, which can be a challenge in yards with dense tree cover near the boundaries. One of the standout features of the Navimow 110N is its quiet performance. Seriously, this thing is impressively stealthy. You can easily have it running in the background without it being a major disturbance, which is great if you or your neighbors are sensitive to noise. It just hums along, doing its job. The app control is also quite comprehensive, allowing you to schedule mows, adjust cutting heights, set no-go zones, and monitor its progress. The interface is clean and user-friendly, making it easy to manage your mowing tasks remotely, which is a big plus for busy homeowners. However, the Navimow isn't without its own set of challenges. We found its slope handling to be somewhat limited. While it can manage gentle inclines, steeper slopes can cause it to struggle or even get stuck more so than some competitors. Another area where we encountered some inconsistency was with its cliff detection or edge sensor. There were a few instances where it got a little too close for comfort to a drop-off, or seemed hesitant near edges it should have easily recognized. This means you really need to ensure your virtual boundaries are set conservatively if you have any significant drops in your yard. The initial setup, while wire-free, can still be a bit complex for some users. Getting the base station positioned correctly for optimal satellite signal and ensuring the initial mapping is accurate takes a bit of patience and sometimes some trial and error. It's not plug and play in the truest sense. So while the Segway Navimow in 110N offers a compelling wire-free experience with smart AI features and impressively quiet operation, potential buyers should be mindful of its limitations on steeper terrains and the need for careful initial setup. Now let's shift gears and talk about the often overlooked hero of the robotic mower world, the budget-friendly model that still relies on a good old-fashioned boundary wire. While the wire-free tech is flashy and exciting, these wired warriors offer a compelling proposition for a different type of user. Their primary advantage, and it's a big one, is cost-effectiveness. You can typically get into a boundary wire robotic mower for a fraction of the price of the premium GPS-guided models we've just looked at. This makes automated lawn care accessible to a much wider audience. The stable boundary wire isn't just a descriptor, it's a key to their reliable operation. Once that wire is laid down correctly, these mowers know exactly where their boundaries are, day in and day out, rain or shine. There's no worrying about GPS signal dropouts due to trees or tall buildings, or the mower getting confused by complex garden layouts. It's a proven technology that, while requiring more upfront effort, offers a very consistent and predictable performance. Many of these models also boast a waterproof design, meaning they can handle a bit of rain and continue their duties, or at least survive an unexpected shower without shorting out. The manual installation of the boundary wire is admittedly the biggest hurdle. It involves pegging down or burying a wire around the entire perimeter of your mowing area and any obstacles like flower beds or trees. This can be a time-consuming process, especially for larger or more complex lawns. It might take a few hours or even a good part of a weekend, depending on your yard. However, once it's done, it's done. You set it and, for the most part, forget it. The effort is front-loaded, but the long-term reliability can be a worthy trade-off for some. Navigation on these budget mowers is typically less advanced. Many operate on a more random or semi-random pattern within the boundary wire. They'll bump and turn, eventually covering the entire area. but it might not look as methodical or efficient as the grid patterns you see with GPS models. This isn't necessarily a bad thing. The lawn still gets cut evenly over time. However, if you're someone who likes to see perfect straight mowing lines immediately, this approach might test your patience a little. It's more about consistent coverage over a few sessions than perfect lines in one go. App integration on these more affordable units is often more limited or sometimes non-existent, beyond basic start-stop or scheduling via Bluetooth rather than Wi-Fi. You might not get the fancy real-time tracking, detailed mapping or remote access from anywhere that the premium models offer. But for many, the core function of automated mowing is all that's needed. If you're on a tighter budget, have a small to medium-sized lawn with a relatively simple layout. And don't mind the one-time setup of the wire. These mowers offer incredible value and can still free you from the weekly chore of pushing a mower. So there you have it. A deep dive into 3 very different approaches to robotic lawn mowing. From the feature-packed, wire-free convenience of the EcoFlow BLADE to the AI-driven smarts of the Segway Navimow and the reliable, cost-effective performance of a traditional boundary wire mower, there's a robotic helper out there for almost everyone. The best one really depends on your specific circumstances and what you value most in a piece of tech like this. When choosing the right robotic lawnmower, consider your lawn's size, terrain, and your comfort with technology. If you've got a huge, complex yard and the budget for it, the advanced features of something like the EcoFlow might be incredibly appealing. If your lawn is flatter and you want quiet, wire-free operation without absolutely breaking the bank, the Segway presents a strong case. And if you're all about getting the job done reliably and affordably and don't mind a bit of initial setup, the boundary wire models are still fantastic value. Evaluate these top options to find the perfect fit for your needs. We hope this guide has given you a clearer picture of what's out there and helped you narrow down your choices. Ultimately, any of these can save you a ton of time and effort, giving you back your weekends to actually enjoy your beautifully manicured lawn, rather than toiling away on it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more tech reviews and guides. Let us know in the comments which mower you're leaning towards, or if you have any experiences to share. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.